So next morning, James comes over and I had done some research, and after talking with some people in the community, I deduced that I needed a timing light, I needed a vacuum tester gauge, which I'd never heard of, but one of the things that I was reading was to test the EGR. So off to the auto parts stores. Came back to the house. Step one, tested the EGR. Vacuum gauge. Basically, I'm gonna stick this on the EGR and pump it up. And if it holds like that, we're good. And if it doesn't, EGR is bad. So if it like does that, it won't hold. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this works, because I mean, it's not like the tightest of fit around this nipple, but if I'm like holding it with my hand, I mean, it's holding vacuum. So I can assume that the EGR works. So that's good. 60 bucks, we can return that now. It's not the EGR's problem. Now we get to learn how to time it. I say learn because I've never timed an engine before, so this is gonna be fun. All right, we just basically need to turn it on now. Timing was at like 10 degrees advance, which is about 2 degrees, I guess, advanced beyond factory spec. Checked the vacuum lines again, still nothing turning up there. Got some carb cleaner spray, started spraying stuff, testing for vacuum leaks, and just couldn't get anything to just change the idle, or at least get it to stay on. So again, made a couple more phone calls, pulled the idle jet, she sent me some diagrams, here's where it's at. So here we are, pulling the carburetor apart, trying to get the idle jet out. If this doesn't work, we just gotta throw the Weber on, because I don't know what the hell this thing's deal is. But yeah. I had never opened up a carburetor before in my life before this point. So here we are, pulling the carburetor apart. I hate flatheads. Duct tape. I got guitar strings, we can poke it. We were unscrewing it, didn't work, had to use some duct tape and like stick it to the screw to pull it out. And was told that guitar string works really well to try to poke out those holes in the jet. So grabbed a guitar off the wall and sacrificed the string in the name of making my 70s truck run right. Yeah, high E string off my guitar. Cleaned out the jets, looked inside the carburetor, and to our disappointment, carburetor looks immaculate, of course. Looks super clean. I mean, no gunk whatsoever. It's just like, it looks like it was rebuilt a year ago. Jet was also not even clogged whatsoever. Completely clean.
See what I'm saying?
It's like better, but it's still doing that thing. Thought we had everything on, didn't run right, ran a bunch of tests, pulled the top of a carburetor off, checked the float height, checked vacuum leaks, checked everything, still nothing working out. I'm up at like 11:30 at night. I'm on this forum, I'm just link diving forums hard, and I come across this guy who points out this throttle positioner screw on an Aisin carburetor in 78 for a 20R for California emissions truck. Come to find out, my throttle positioner screw was turned all the way in, and that was preventing my idle from dropping down within my idle spec being like 800 to 900 RPMs. Man, such a win. It's a mess, but California, so yeah. Here we go. That feels right. It's running. It's not dying. It sounds good, man. It sounds good, right? Imagine if this works. Oh my gosh. What a relief. Even the throatiness of the exhaust is a lot quieter too. It sounds like it's like a Prius now. Maybe not that quiet.
It's not that quiet.
It's not that quiet, but man, it's pretty damn quiet for a 1978 that's like been through the ringer, man. Apparently it was just the idle adjustment screws, so thanks, Toyota. Didn't think to check there. I don't know what we were thinking. Had a fat brain for it. We were checking everything else. Vacuum lines.
We checked everything except for the idle
checked
screw.
everything except for the idle adjustment screw on the carb. And yeah, so it's not that loud. The Weber burns so clean. There was like really no smell at all to anything. Like you'd pop it and you wouldn't really smell anything, but now it just kind of smells like old car, you know, like fumes and
Really
which is
does.
like
It
so
really
ironic
does.
because freaking we have all the smog stuff on, which is supposed to aid against that. But I throw a Weber on it and it like burns cleaner, smells cleaner, has more power, runs more efficiently.
It definitely smells like an old car.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to explain it. Like, there's no...
I had thrown away my coolant lines for the water choke when I desmogged it. And I had bought coolant hose, but to what I had found out, if you use just a generic like water line, it kinks. It's just too tight of a bend that it doesn't allow coolant to pass through. So what we ended up doing was getting like a 90-degree elbow plastic piece and then just kind of adding hose to each side of this like 90-degree plastic piece. And good news, choke function. Bad news, airbox did not sit down onto the carburetor because it hit those water choke lines. Made some phone calls again, looked up some part numbers, tried to start reaching out, trying to find out how I can get this workaround. Because at the end of the day, although the truck was running and driving, I'm not going to pass smog if my airbox can't be fastened down and doesn't even sit flush down on the carburetor. It's just dangling there. That's not up to code. Trash Wiley, otherwise known as Nash, he actually reached out and had, for that exact water line that went off the manifold into the water choke, and shipped me one of those. "100%. I couldn't have done this without the Toyota community, hands down. What's a part that you might be able to get $40 for if you got no one to share the passion with? You know? And that's huge. I couldn't have done it without just being able to call some of these guys and just absorb some knowledge and wisdom on just different things.